Now that we know how to convert freely between the different forms of complex numbers, trigonometric form and standard form, we need to talk about how to multiply and divide numbers that are in this trigonometric form. So you got a couple of rules. One rule for finding a product, one rule for finding a quotient. Now there's some proofs behind these formulas involving trig, sum to product, product to sum formulas, which if I have the chance down the line, I'll add a little proof video into this playlist. But right now we're going to just go with an example of each of the product and quotient rules. So let's start with an example of multiplication. So we've got two complex numbers defined in trigonometric form here. We got Z1 and Z2. You can read the details there. So following the formula to multiply Z1 times Z2, take R times R, 2 times 8. And then it's going to be the sum of the two angles. Plus I times the sine of the sum of the two angles. And as always, we need to go to common denominator land here. It's 4 pi over 6. And now it's just simplify as much as possible. It's 15 pi over 6. And simplify at every available opportunity. 15 pi over 6 is 5 pi over 2. So let's go ahead and write that. Now, 5 pi over 2 is greater . 5 pi over 2 is, of course, greater than 2 pi. So we're going to subtract 2 pi from it to get it onto the unit circle. So 5 pi minus 4 pi over 2 is going to give you pi over 2. And now you can just grab some values from the unit circle, distribute, and get 16i to end your problem. Now, you can always go back and check these types of things. Usually there's some built-in checks. What you could do is convert Z1 back into standard form, and you get -1 plus square root of 3i if you put that back in standard form. And you put this guy, Z2, back in standard form, you'd get 4 radical 3 minus 4i. And you could FOIL that, and if you ended up foiling that, you would still get 16i. So there's a nice built-in way to check your solution for this type of problem. So next, let's real quick take a look at how you divide complex numbers in trigonometric form. Again, it's just following a formula, so a matter of putting the right numbers in the right place. So Z1 over Z2 is, in this case, 24 over 8. Now make sure you're making the difference between these angles this time. So again, following the formulas is the most important part here. A lot of little things to pay attention to as you go. Now, of course, dealing with angles in degree mode is still probably your most comfortable mode, but hopefully you've gained some comfort with radians. We're in degree mode, so that should make things a little bit easier. Grab our values from the unit circle now. And distribute this value out on the outside into there, and you get your quotient -3 radical 2 over 2 plus I. Oh, minus, actually, we're going to do minus I times 3 radical 2. Let's write this a little nicer. This is going to be -3 radical 2 over 2 minus 3 radical 2 I. Something like that. And there is your quotient.